Hello everyone. Today, we'll dive into the concept of debit notes and how to record them in 8skice accounting software. A debit note is a critical commercial document issued by a buyer to a supplier, usually to request a credit due to discrepancies like returned goods or incorrect billing. Essentially, it's a formal way of communicating that the buyer is returning goods and expects a corresponding reduction in the payable amount. Understanding how to manage debit notes effectively is crucial for accurate accounting and maintaining good supplier relationships. Let's consider a practical example to understand this better. R&R Stationeries Limited's return to Masuman Stationeries. Imagine that R&R Stationeries Limited recently purchased several items from Masuman Stationeries on August 1, 2024. The items purchased were as follows. 1. 100 A4 ream papers at a unit price of 10,000 shillings. 2. 300 mathematical sets at a unit price of 2,000 shillings. 3. 500 exercise books at a unit price of 500 shillings. Upon receiving and inspecting the items, R&R Stationeries Limited discovered that 10 of the mathematical sets were defective, and 20 of the exercise books were damaged. Consequently, R&R Stationeries decided to return all of the defective items to Masuman Stationeries. Now, let's walk through the steps to record both the original purchase and the subsequent return of the defective items in 8skice accounting software. Step 1. Recording the purchase of stationeries. To accurately track inventory and liabilities, the first step is to record the initial purchase. 1. Navigate to the Purchase Invoices module. Log into your 8skice account and go to the Purchase Invoices module. This section is where you'll manage all your supplier invoices. 2. Create a new purchase invoice. Click on the Create New button to start a new invoice entry. This will open a blank invoice form. 3. Enter the purchase details. Purchase date, use the calendar tool to select August 1, 2024. Supplier, from the drop-down list, choose Masuman Stationeries as your supplier. Items. Select A4 ream papers from the item list, input 100 units in the quantity field, and 10,000 shillings in the unit price field. Click the Add button to add more items. Next, select Mathematical Sets from the item list. Enter 300 units in the quantity field, and 2,000 shillings in the unit price field. Click the Add button to add more items. Finally, for exercise books, input 500 units in the quantity field and 500 shillings in the unit price field. 4. Review and save the purchase invoice. Carefully review all the entered details to ensure they are accurate. If everything is correct, click the Save or Submit button to finalize the purchase invoice. Step 2. Reflecting the purchases in your reports. Once you've recorded the purchase, the next step is to ensure these details are accurately reflected in your accounting reports. 1. Access the summary or dashboard. Go to the Summary or Dashboard section of your 8skice software. Here, you'll get an overview of your current financial position. 2. View inventory. Your dashboard will display the total value of inventory on hand, which should now amount to 1,850,000 shillings, 100 A4 ream papers at 10,000 each, plus 300 mathematical sets at 2,000 each, plus 500 exercise books at 500 each. Click on this figure to see a detailed breakdown of your inventory items and their quantities. 3. View liabilities. The corresponding amount owed to Masuman Stationeries, reflecting this purchase, will appear as a liability on your dashboard. Clicking on this figure will show specific details of the outstanding payment. Step 3. Recording the return of defective items. Now that the initial purchase is recorded, let's move on to documenting the return of the defective items using a debit note. 1. Navigate to the Debit Notes module. Find the Debit Notes module within your software. This is where you'll record returns or other purchase adjustments. 2. Create a new debit note. Click on the Create New button to generate a new debit note. This will open a new form where you can enter the details of the return. 3. Enter the return details. Date, enter August 1, 2024, as the date of the return. Supplier, choose Masuman Stationaries from the drop-down list. Items. First, select Mathematical Sets from the item list. Input 10 units in the quantity field, and 2,000 shillings in the unit price field. Then, click the Add Line button and select Exercise Books from the item list. Input 20 units in the quantity field and 500 shillings in the unit price field. 4. Total amount. The software will automatically calculate the total value of the returned goods based on the quantity and unit price. In this case, the total should be 30,000 shillings, 10 mathematical sets at 2,000 shillings each, plus 20 exercise books at 500 shillings each. 5. Save the debit note. Review all details carefully. Once confirmed, click the Save or Submit button to finalize the debit note. Step 4. Impact on financial reports. Recording the debit note will automatically adjust your accounting records, reflecting the return in both your inventory and liabilities. 1. Access the summary or dashboard. Revisit the summary or dashboard section to see how the return has affected your accounts. 2. View inventory. The total value of inventory on hand will decrease from 1,850,000 shillings to 1,820,000 shillings. This reduction of 30,000 shillings corresponds to the returned items, 10 mathematical sets at 2,000 shillings each, plus 20 exercise books at 500 shillings each. The quantity of returned items will also be deducted from your inventory records. 3. View liabilities. The amount owed to Masuman Stationaries will also decrease by 30,000 shilling.